Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle Seahawks fans. Let's get to the news, all right, folks. Let's talk about the latest buzz that's been swirling around the NFL, and it's got serious implications for the Seahawks. Rumors are swirling that the Indianapolis Colts might be open to trading Quentin Nelson, one of the most dominant guards in the league. Now I know what you're thinking. Nelson for the Seahawks. That's right, it's not just idle chatter. This could be a game changer for Seattle's offensive line, especially considering the team's current needs and the direction they're heading as they push for another deep playoff run. To give you some context, the Colts are currently sitting at 4-5 in the middle of a rebuild, and their cap situation isn't exactly ideal. They've got around $15 million in cap space. After Anthony Richardson's rough rookie season, where his completion percentage hovered around 60%, some of the Colts brass are thinking about stacking their draft picks, especially on the offensive side, to give their young quarterback more weapons and protection. And that's where Nelson comes into the picture. The Colts are reportedly prioritizing acquiring more draft capital, especially for the 2026 draft, and are reportedly willing to part ways with Nelson to get that. Now let's talk about Nelson himself. The guy is a force in the trenches, a true run-blocking machine. At 29 years old, he's still in his prime and has consistently been one of the best guards in the league. His 2025 season was spectacular, 0 sacks allowed, a PFF grade of 92, 4, and a run-win rate of 85%. His EPA per run was plus 0.38, and he only allowed 8 pressures in pass protection, the lowest among guards. Not only that, but Nelson has no major injury concerns, making him an incredibly reliable piece for any offensive line. Over his career, he's made 3 Pro Bowls, averaged just 0.3 sacks per year, and boasts a 90. 1 PFF grade on average. He's been a keyhole creator, opening running lanes and holding down the interior with elite consistency. This is where it gets interesting for the Seahawks. If they manage to secure Nelson, it would be a huge boost for their offensive line, especially in the interior. The Seahawks have been solid this season, holding a 6-2 record and have $12 million in cap space. But more than that, they're in desperate need of a pivotal guard to replace Jarran Reed, who's currently on IR with a wrist-thumb injury. Nelson's presence would not only fill that void, but also elevate the entire line, giving Geno Smith more time and cleaner pockets to work with. It's no secret that the Seahawks' pass protection has been solid, but could always use an upgrade, especially when facing tough NFC West rivals like the Rams, Cardinals, and the 49ers. In fact, Nelson's addition could have a ripple effect on the Seahawks' offensive efficiency. His pass protection grade is plus 2, 5 points higher than the average Seahawks guard, and his run efficiency jumps by 13%. That means more sustained drives, more explosive runs, and a more balanced offense that can keep defenses honest. And if we look ahead to the playoffs, the impact could be even more significant. The Seahawks are currently sitting at plus 2, 0 odds to win the Super Bowl, with some sportsbooks shifting as they see the potential of this kind of upgrade in the trenches. A guard of Nelson's caliber could be the missing piece that pushes Seattle over the top, especially considering how well he's performed in pressure situations and his ability to neutralize key pass rushers. Now, it's important to keep in mind that the Colts are reportedly skeptical about trading Nelson. They feel that trading their top interior lineman might weaken their line and hurt their rushing attack, which currently averages around 4.1 yards per carry. Their offense is averaging just 22 points per game, which is below league average, so they're likely looking for draft picks that can help rebuild that unit from the ground up. Still, if the Seahawks can leverage their draft capital and potentially offer a first-round pick in 2026, they might be able to sway the Colts. And speaking of the Seahawks' offense, the addition of Nelson would be a significant step towards replicating the success seen when teams like the Kansas City Chiefs made strategic moves to bolster their offensive line. Remember the trade for Thuney back in 2021? That move shifted the Chiefs, rushing yardage by over 200 yards, and proved how much interior line upgrades can transform an offense. For Seattle, who already boasts a dynamic rushing attack led by Kenneth Walker III and a quarterback who's shown growth, having a fortified interior line with Nelson could unlock even more explosive plays. It would help protect Geno better, give him more time to find his receivers, and open lanes for Walker and the ground game to thrive, especially against tough NFC West defenses. Let's not forget, Nelson's style of play aligns perfectly with what the Seahawks want. Dominant run blocking, minimal pressures, and a guy who's proven he can execute under pressure. His 0 sacks allowed in 2025, and his elite run-blocking metrics make him an ideal fit for a team that wants to control the clock and dominate in the trenches. This isn't just about protecting Geno. It's about establishing a mindset that Seattle is serious about being a trench warrior team that can impose its will on opponents. Looking ahead, if Nelson joins the Seahawks, the team's Super Bowl odds could see a noticeable boost, perhaps from +2-0 to something closer to +900 or even lower, depending on how the roster shapes up. The NFL playoffs are all about matchups, and having a dominant interior offensive line is often the difference maker when it comes down to crucial moments. It's about setting the tone, controlling the line of scrimmage, and being able to run the ball effectively when it matters most. Nelson's presence could be the X factor that turns a good team into a great one, a true game changer in the final stretch of the season. Of course, this move would also send a message across the league that the Seahawks are serious contenders, willing to make bold moves to improve their roster, and that they're not content with just making the playoffs. They want to go all the way. The NFC West is no walk in the park, with the 49ers looking dominant, the Rams always lurking, and the Cardinals trying to find their footing. But Seattle's path to a Super Bowl gets a lot clearer with a player like Nelson anchoring their offensive line. It's a gamble, sure, but one that could pay off big time if they can pull it off. In conclusion, this potential trade is more than just a headline. It's a signal that the Seahawks are eyeing big things. They're aware of what it takes to win at the highest level: solid trenches, smart plays, and a relentless drive to improve. If they can land Nelson, it might just be the piece that pushes them from playoff contender to Super Bowl favorite. The NFL is always about the next move, and for Seahawks fans, this could be the move that redefines their season and sets them up for a historic run. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this possible move? Do you believe adding Quentin Nelson could be the key to finally breaking through and making a serious Super Bowl run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks, and I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. Let's keep the passion alive and continue supporting our team through thick and thin. Go Hawks!